Good morning, all of you. Okay, today we'll just continue with the numericals related to impulse and the collisions. Okay, read the question. The three blocks are there, A, B, C. Suspended by strings and are in equilibrium. A particle of mass m moving with speed u collides inelastically with the block A and gets stuck to it. Find the speed of the blocks just after impact. What we study the impulse now, we are just extending that concept for different types of numericals. As I told you yesterday, they can ask you this in several ways, no? The application part. So you should be very careful. So what we have in books is the limited ideas like a block, impulses acting, that one. So they can introduce this idea anywhere. So I have just given one example. Let's see that how we'll manage this question. Okay, that's a pulley. Two n. After getting stuck, it will be like this, and the particle orbital will get stuck to it. So total mass will become 2m. Now there will be an impulse due to Jn, and on the block Jn. This Jn, what it will do? It will increase the tension, because say earlier, what was the tension? The tension was, look at this particular point. Here, what was the situation? The tension was balancing weight. Now, when the particle collides, we know normal contact. Actually, I gave one problem also. Normal contact will be very large, no? Suddenly, what happens? The tension will become from mg, it will increase. It will become a very high value. So, sudden increase in tension, a jerk is produced in the string, or an impulsive tension is set up. And how the tension should act, you know very well how to get the direction of tension. Suppose that this is the tension. Put J. Is it okay? So there's a one method. Now, what do we expect the velocities of the block after this? So let the velocity of this say V. There's a block A, there's a block B and C. We are giving the velocity of this VB. Now JT, so here the impulse will get transformed. So here to JT. So velocity of this block, let it be C. It's quite natural, no? The speed of the block B and C will be upward. That of the A word pen will be downward. Now he is asking to get the speed of this blocks A, B, and C. Now what is the equation of motion? How many unknowns are there? The impulsive tension, VA, VB, VC. Let's write first equation. We'll see what we'll get it. Prior to that, I'll write all the set of equations here. mu minus jt equal to mva for the block A. M plus m va. For the block B, jt equal to mvb. 2jt is equal to 2m vc. Let's try to solve this. U is given. How many unknowns are there? VA, VB, VC, and impulsive tension. I need, and this, if I simplify, I'll end up this one. I need one more equation. What is one more equation? I'll take help of constraint equation. So this will be XC. So this, let P be the pulley. Let this be XP. So what about this distance will be? This XP. So this you write XB, no? So this should be, I need a space, no? Let this be XB and let this be XC. Pulley constraints, go back to that. So two length of the two strings are there. One XC plus XP bar equal to L1 for this string. And what about length of this string? XB minus XP. XB minus XP plus XC minus XP equal to L2, or XB plus XC minus 2XP equal to L2. Let me differentiate this. If I differentiate above, VC plus VP equal to 0. If I differentiate this, VB plus VC minus 2VP equal to 0. Let me substitute that. This is A, no? XA it is. So VB plus VA plus 2VC equal to 0. Substitute all with sign. Anything directed upward positive, anything directed downward will be negative. So what is VB? JT by M. What is VA? VA you have to solve like this. MU. VA will be U by 2 minus JT by M. And it should be negative. I don't have space here. Yeah, let me proceed here. VB is what? JT by M. VA substitute negative because our VA is negative, no? You have to substitute with sign because there are vectors here. So minus of, this should be U by 2 minus JT by 2M. VC is how much? JT by M. Solve this, you'll get expression for JT. That value of JT, substitute, you'll get the required speed. Some questions like this will be linked with other ideas, the impulse, rather than only two blocks. Many connected blocks, strings, pulleys, blocks, wedge constraints, everywhere it can be introduced. Solve this later on. Okay, there's a y negative sign because look at we have to substitute with sign, no? The velocity is here. Anything directed upward. Let me take the next one. A block of mass m2 is moving horizontal with speed u on smooth horizontal surface. A ball of mass m1 moving vertically down collides inelastically with the block. Find the speed of ball and block just after impact. And you see it's telling E between 0 and 1 and the surface between about top surface rough and below is smooth. Okay, there's a plank. Let's see that just before it comes and collides. What are the forces that will result? The normal contact will act, Ny, it will act for small duration of time. Okay, no, yeah, this will be ny into delta t. So shall we call this is jy, and that impulse will also act here n into delta t. So this is jy. This is what happens here, no? In fact, and it is approaching with a speed u1. After impact, it will have velocity, say v1. So v1 y, I'll write it. So this much is what we have. Okay, let's find is there any relative motion between the ball and the plank? Yes, no. The horizontal velocity is u2, and what is the horizontal velocity of the ball when they're colliding? Will be zero. There's a relative motion. So in what direction there'll be friction will be acting? The friction will act in this direction, and on the ball friction will act here. And we know F is equal to mu n. The friction will act for small. The normal reaction will act for small duration of time, because for what time the ball will be in contact with the plank for a very small duration of time. So the normal contact will act for small duration of time. So ny into delta t. So that is what impulse. Then similarly, the friction also will act for small duration of time. The friction also will act for small duration of time. So therefore together, so what this will be impulsive friction. This is impulse due to normal contact. They'll be related like this. F into delta t is what? Impulsive friction. So what is Jx? Impulsive friction. Even the friction can set up impulse. Any force acts for small duration of time. So whatever the friction value should be very high, impulsive friction will be very high. Because ny friction depends on, so like a F delta t equal to mu ny, no? So when you calculate this mu, jy you look at. So jx equal to mu into jy. This is the impulsive friction. So here F into delta t. So this is what jx. So on the block, these are the forces that will be acting. Now, as a sequence of this, what should happen to the plank? It will have some velocity, reduced velocity. Earlier it was u2, no? Because an impulse acted opposite to its motion. So v2 will be less than u2. Then because of this jx on the ball will also acquire horizontal component of velocity. How the motion of the ball? It will move in a plane. It starts moving in a plane. What about the plank? It will move with a reduced speed. Okay, let's come back to one by one. What is the v1y? v1y, v1y should be equal to E u1. Yesterday we have seen. So now we know v1y. So can we calculate jy? So what is the impulse momentum equation? m1 u1 minus jy equal to minus m1 v1. Why negative sign? v1 y is opposite to initial momentum. So I got the value of jy is equal to how much? m1 u1 plus m1 v1y. Substituting this, v1 is what? E u1. So m1 u1 1 plus e. This is jy. Then what is jx? As we know, jx equal to mu jy, mu into m1 u1 1 plus e. Can we calculate v2 now? Yes, I'll apply. Initial momentum on the block m2 u2 minus jx impulsive friction is equal to m2 v2. Solving this, I'll get v2 and v1. What is the speed of the block? Again, for along x-axis on the ball, initial momentum 0, impulsive friction x, and m1 v1x. So what is jx here? Jx is this much, mu m1 u1 1 plus e equal to m1 v1x. What is V1x equal to? Mu U1 1 plus E. So now we know y component of velocity and x component. So the resultant speed we can find out. And Jx is substitute this one. M2 U2 minus mu M1 U1 1 plus E equal to M2 V2. And we have to solve it. Like that, we'll get expression for speed V1 and V2. And what is V1? V1 should be vector sum, no? Because the ball is having both vertical as well as horizontal component after collision. How the path of the ball? The ball will move in parabolic path. And the plank will continue to move like this. This is the path of the ball after impact. No, sir, what about the weight? See, like here, the Ny will be of order 10 to power of 6, 10 to power of 8, 10 to power of 9. What about the weight? Weight is something of order of few newtons, weight of the ball, few newton. So definitely the contribution by the change in momentum by the normal contact will be very much greater than the weight. That's why we just neglect it. In general, change in momentum will be there due to all. But the contribution for the change in momentum by the weight of the ball is negligible. So therefore, we just neglect it because the Ny will be of order 10 to power of 6. It all depends on delta. Delta t is of nanoseconds. No, the Ny will go of order 10 to power of 8. Where is the 10 to power of 8 and where is the M1? M1 will be of order few hundred or let it be 1000. Even then, Ny will be very much greater than Mg. No. Impulsive friction. You see, like you have seen impulse due to normal contact, impulse due to string, and impulse due to friction. Like that, several forces will come, and that force suddenly its magnitude increases. Impulsive friction, you have to take it. There's a formula. What is there in this one? V1y equal to EU1. Nothing to do. Along y-axis, the block M2 will not move. No? The motion is only along the block is there on the ground. Then this equation is very much valid. There's no motion of the block along y-axis. The block will not move along y-axis. Only the ball will have motion along y-axis. No, it will come, it will be incident and it will rebound and move. Irrespective of M2 equal to M1, M2 greater than M1, M2 less than M1. I think this equation is valid. Please do remember. Because the block will not move along y-axis, it's on ground. No? So straight away I'll write it. If this block kept on some spring no S, then you should consider the motion of the block also because of this impulse Jy. Just I'll give only description. You have to work out this problem. A lot of calculations are there. I'll discuss only the basic idea. We discuss all the problems where the particle were coming from down. No? So let it move vertically up and collide with the block. Read the question here also. You should look at the string when impulse is set up, when it is not set up. I'll proceed with the sequence of diagrams here. Read the question once, read the question. I will write this calculate what all questions to be asked. No, I'll write it. So I need some space here. calculate the time after which the block B starts moving downwards. Maximum height reached by block B and loss in mechanical energy up to that instant. I need diagrams, sequence of diagrams I need. We have to find out all these things. So let me explain the problem. It's a diagram based question, nothing to do, anybody can do this one, provided if you have all the set of diagrams. Okay, there's the initially as it is. So first it will come and collide. There's a collision occurs. After collision, shall I make it 2 kg, 1 kg? So this will become 3 kg. Or let me show that cell here. Initially the string was taut, no? And just after impact, this will acquire a velocity, say v1. What should happen to string now? Very next moment. String will become loose because the B what happen? Starts moving up and the string will become loose. Because as the string become loose, what happen? The A will have free fall motion and B will be vertically projected. The string will be very next moment, the string will become slack and it will start ascending like this. Earlier it was, now sling, you better write slack. Then what is the type of motion? A will have free fall motion. And what about the B? B will be vertically projected and along this motion will occur. It will have free fall. And this will be vertically projected. And it will come to instantaneous rest for a while. Because of gravity, this will have free fall motion. So here, what is the state of the block? The block A will have velocity, call VA1. And what is the state of block B? It will be at instantaneous rest. I'll write IR, is understood instantaneous rest here. Along with the particle also, shall see, I'll show it. This is at t equal to 0. This is just greater than 0. This is at certain time. Let me call t equal to t1. Can we write anything? So what height the block A descends is the same height the block B will ascend. You have to answer this particular thing. Yes, it will be a H1. This will be H1. So what is H1? How to calculate? Yes, we can write H1 equal to half GT1 square. And we also can calculate this time T1. It was projected with a velocity V1. How to calculate velocity V1? applying impulse momentum. I'll come to all that later on. Very next moment, what will happen to this? What actually goes on first we'll analyze here. Very next moment you see that the string will be slack here. The ends of the string open now they have different velocity. No, you can see that this block A will try to move down, and the block B will also try. Block A will, because the velocity will move down. And what about block B? It cannot ascend further up because of the weight. What happen? It will try to move down. So what happen to string? String will become taut. Suddenly the string will become taut. The same position, the string will be the string, a jerk is produced and it will become taut. It was slack, now it will become taut. So then how the impulse should act? The impulse is set up and that impulse will act in this direction. So how the velocity of this will be? The velocity of this will be in this direction, v dash, and the velocity of this will be v1, we took it, no? So we'll write it v2. Very next moment, this will be the sequence. There's a particle. An impulse is set up, there's a condition. Okay, after this, next condition, what will happen? How long this, and suddenly what happened, as it ascends, so impulse is acted and we know velocity v2. Because of these velocities, no, you take out that impulse now. Impulse is set up, it has a given velocity v2. Now because of these velocities, now what will happen to block B and A? It will start ascending, and you look at that, the resultant weight here, how much it will be? 3 mg. Here how much it will be? Only 2 mg. Look at that one. Mass of A and B are 2 kg. 2 kg. This is 2 kg. This is 1 kg. What do you expect now? There'll be retardation in this direction. Due to retardation, so what happened to speed of the blocks A and B, and that this particle C will undergo retardation, and for a while they will come to instantaneous rest. So call this as, this height as, say, V2 we have taken, or let it be H2. After this, what happen? Again, anything will happen. They'll start moving down because of weight 3 mg and this is 2 mg. So after this, the A will start rising up, B will start falling down. Again, it's a laws of motion problem. This is what overall the sequence. So what are all questions now? All of you can understand that what actually going on. Now you write equation. Say without this background, no, I don't think, I think you are in big trouble. You are in very big trouble. So let's see that. Calculate the time after which the block B starts moving downward. Maximum height reached by block B. So maximum height reached by block B means what I should do? H1 plus H2. Calculate the time after which the block B starts moving downward. Means what I should do here. So look at from here. It was at rest, collides, acquire velocity v1. It is continuously ascending up only, no? Nowhere it has descended. After this, it starts moving down. So he's asking this particular time interval. So from year to year, these are the times. Times, this is T1. Then impulse is set up. This is T2. So that T1 plus T2, H1 plus H2 is asking. Then loss in mechanical energy, we'll see how much it will come. It was at instantaneous here. It was an instantaneous rest. Impulse will act and it will acquire velocity v2 and it will ascend finish over. Then impulse will happen. See, once it will acquire v2, then it's a laws of motion problem. Again, the tension will take the normal values. The JT, what's happened here? The suddenly tension will increase, becomes maximum, then decreases. There's a sequence that occurs here. When impulse is set up, the tension will suddenly increase, becomes maximum, then decreases. It will not, JT will not act for large duration of time. For a fraction of time, the JT will act. That's why we can write JT equal to, this is 2m m. So JT equal to 2m plus m v into v2. Okay, this about the background is what I given. Okay, let's write all the equations. I think problem is over. So you're supposed to manage this much here. Looking at the diagrams, let's write the equation. First, how to calculate this V1. It will collide, no, starting from first diagram. The shell C, it's having a mass M, 1 kg. The shell C is having a mass 1 kg. Let's write impulse momentum equation. First, looking at this, 1 into mass of the MC. So let me take this is U. MCU is equal to MB plus MC into V1. So this is 1 kg. U is how much? 9 meter. 2 plus 1 into V. So V1 equal to 3 meter per second. Okay, after getting this, I got V1. Now, can we calculate VA1? VA1 equal to GT1. We don't know this time T1. How to calculate time T1? Time T1, it is measured from here. So it was a given velocity V1, gravity will act. Due to that, it's undergo retard. It's like a vertically projected. So can we calculate T1? 0 equal to V1 minus GT1. Okay, T1 equal to V1 by G. So V1 we know, I'll get the T1. So T1 equal to V1 by G. So this will be 3 by 10, 0.3 seconds. I'll write everything here only. It'll be much easy for you. Then after getting T1, can we calculate VA1? So what should be the VA1? VA1, it will free fall, no? GT1, 10 into 0.3 meter per second. So this is VA1. Can we calculate H1? Better to use simplest thing. So 10 by 2, T1 square, 0.3 whole square. So we'll get H1. So after getting H1, then let's come for this. Immediately here, look at this. So we have to calculate the V2, no? How to calculate that particular V2. So let's go for this impulse GT, no? So this will be on the block A. For block A, MA VA1 minus JT is equal to MA V2. Then on the block B and C combined, because it was instantaneous, then suddenly the string has become taut. So JT is equal to MA plus MC into V2. Adding up these two, we'll get expression for V2. After getting V2, then we have to calculate the time T2. For that, we need retardation. What is the retardation? Retardation will be 3mg minus 2mg by 3m plus 2m. I think this should be equal to g by 5, 2 meter per second square. So can we calculate the time taken. So this should be 0 equal to V2 minus AT2. So from this, we'll get the T2. What is the total time taken? That one, T1 plus T2. Then can we calculate H2? Again, the same formula, 0 minus V2 square 2 minus A H2. So H1, H2, we'll get the T1 plus T2. There are the things. What about loss in mechanical energy? Due to collision, here some energy is lost. And again, the string has become slack. From slack, again, it has become taut. You see that this was the energy, no? V1. So again, there's a loss in, again, you see that here calculate the kinetic energy. So there's a, whenever the string from loose becomes taut, from slack it becomes taut, or from taut it becomes slack, there'll be loss of energy. So here, due to collision, there's a loss of energy. String has become slack. Okay, there's nothing to do here. So no loss in energy in the second diagram. Here it is having, there's a loss in kinetic energy, loss in mechanical energy due to collision. From taut, it has become slack. Any loss in kinetic energy? Nothing, no. A was at rest, it continued to be at rest, inertia of rest. And B, what happened? It was having velocity V1, it will be velocity V1. So no loss in energy here. Then it will ascend. It will ascend. So at this particular point, what is a like a B instantaneous rest? And what about A? A is having kinetic energy. Suddenly string has become taut. So again, there'll be loss in energy here. So now you calculate energy half MA VA1 square. Here, half MA V2 square, half 3M V2 square. Check this energy now will be less compared to this. Is it okay now? So the loss in kinetic energy here occurs, and also in these two events it will occur. So what is the total loss in mechanical energy? E loss. I'll write this one. This should be equal to mc u square by 2 minus mb plus mc by 2 v1 square. This is due to what? Due to collision. Again, next again, the string has become suddenly from slack taut. So what was the energy here? ma va1 square by 2 minus ma v2 square by 2 plus mb plus mc. So this what you should interpret, how you should interpret here. Due to change in tension, there's a loss in mechanical energy. Do calculation later on. Now from taut string becomes slack, no loss in energy. It's very clear. So I'll write it here, nearby diagram. Loss in kinetic energy. Here also loss in kinetic energy. And who will here what will happen to that loss in mechanical energy? Will be converted into heat, sound, or deformation of the block B and the particle C here. What about your loss in kinetic energy? Who will take? They'll be taken by the string. Able to interpret energy aspect here. The loss in energy will be in the form of deformation of the block or sound or heat. What about here? It will be taken by the string. It will be consumed by the string. Heat generated in the string here. Okay, take the next one. Read the question. Again, it's also a very simple idea. Some string also I'm connecting between the blocks. All of you read the question. I'll adjust it. I'll adjust it. Yeah. Take this is the ground. So they are released from, so call M1 and M2. So it will be easy for me. M1 and this M2. They are connected by a string. They'll come and collide. Then find the time when the string becomes taut for the first time after the mass M collides with the ground. Take all collisions to be elastic. So both will descend. They'll come here, no? They'll collide. I'm trying to show the sequence. So both are released from rest. Both are released from rest. So they are height and let this be L. When they approach here, both will have velocity u1 and u2. They're going to have a speed. Let's see, no. Elastic collision occurs. So what should happen to the speed of the block M2? It will get reversed and it will be like this. So what will happen to string very next moment? The string will become loose, no? It was a taut. Now the string will become loose. So this will be U2. Very next moment, the string will become loose. This will be loose, taut. Next, so what is the sequence? They both collide somewhere here. The both will collide. You can draw some bigger diagrams. Huh? If you are interested, you can draw it. And strings are, where is the string? String will be somewhere here. Keep it like this here. Again, what is the type of collision? Elastic collision. They'll exchange their velocities. They'll exchange their velocities and they'll start moving up here. It's asking, find the time when the string becomes taut for the first time after the mass M collides with the ground. From here is what is asking the question. How to do this problem after this? I think our question should begin from here, no? Am I right? Find the time when the string becomes taut for the first time after the mass M collides with the ground. First and second, third diagram is what we just brought it. We have to discuss the question from here. It's an elastic collision, so let's go for quotient of restitution. Relative velocity of separation should be equal to relative velocity of approach. And as it is equal to 1, so therefore the magnitude of that should be equal, no? So what is the relative velocity of approach? So what is the u1 and u2? Both will be equal, no? Equal to 2gh. So this I'll call relative velocity of and relative velocity of approach, and this is relative velocity of separation. So let me write v relative, u relative. As equal to 1, the magnitudes must be equal. So what is a u relative? U relative should be u1 minus of u2. So there should be 2 root 2gh, and the magnitude of that So when the string is just taut, so this is what happens here. Again, when the string becomes taut, what do we expect here? No, you should not mess up things here. The relative velocity of separation must be equal. So this will have velocity u2, this will have velocity u1. The relative velocity of separation must be equal to how much? Should be equal to 2 root 2 gh. And what is L? L is our distance. So from here to here, the time is what being asked here. No? So what time it will take to collide this? These two times, will it be equal? TA and TB. They collide, again they'll get separated, again the string will become taut. Go back to relative velocity. What is the length of the string? This is L, no? Length of this separation is L. Problem very simple. If it idea flashes for you, it's very easy. So what is TA? I should write it. TA should be equal to L by 2GH, no? And what should be TB? TB is also L by 2 root of 2GH. So what is the total time? TA plus TB, which is equal to L by 2 root of 2GH. I just took help of this concept. As E is equal to 1, I'm equating both. Maximum, the problems will be there where you need not to bother about the mathematics. Sir. Since the elastic collision, we are able to do problem very easily. In elastic, I think little bit difficult. We have to do a lot of calculation. Will come, lot of mathematics will be involved here. Take the next question.
Sir, could you scroll up one? Thank you, sir.
Read the question. Just some 3 questions I picked up from Pathfinder. Just diagram based. Again, nothing to do that one. You know enough concept. Just diagram based here. First, there's a wall. Read the question. In a gravity-free space, a small ball is placed center of a box of the same mass. The ball and the box both are moving with a velocity v towards a wall. Assume all collisions to be perfectly elastic. How many collisions are possible? The velocity of the box and the ball and the position of the ball relative to the box after all possible collisions. First, we'll go and collide. The box will go and collide. You just extend this diagram. If you're able to imagine, well and good. After collision, this what happens. Okay, let me just. Let's see that. First, what happened? The box has went and collided with the wall. No? The position of this will relatively change. Tell me what is the direction of the velocity of the box will be. It has collided. Now what will happen? The particle will be here. The particle is yet to collide. Now collision between the particle and the box will occur. They'll exchange their velocities. This is what happens here. Again, the box will go and collide, and the particle, what happened, will be moving like this. Is it sequence? Now the particle, can it collide with the box? No, not possible. It's over. After this, even if I move this situation, it will be like that. The particle will be here and the box will be here. What will be that? It doesn't matter. Yeah. How many collisions? It is the first collision. Then between the particle, between the box and the wall here. First collision, box and wall. Next again, second collision, particle and box. Third collision, box and like a box and wall. This what happens here. So three collisions are possible. Okay, this is about the value of the box and the ball and position of the. Okay, they finally both the ball and the box will be moving towards right. Okay, this part is over. Where the ball will be after all n collisions, after all three collisions. Position of the ball is asking. I didn't draw a diagram systematically. You're supposed to analyze through the diagrams only. After some time, when so how much of displacement the box will have, that much displacement the ball will have. So let you take this is L by 2. Here you assume some distance x. You have to assume some, let this distance and let this be L by 2. This also you assume L by 2 or some distance. So when this moves, when the box is having displacement, the ball will also have same displacement. Check with all, the ball will be at the center of the box. I am leaving students to work out that one. Better weapon rather than making guess, no, you assume some, let length of the box be L, initially L by 2. Let this be say L by 2. By the time box reach wall, I think the ball will take this position. The ball will be here. And what is this distance and it has collided with the wall. Like that sequence of diagrams you analyze. Finally, after three collisions, the ball will be at same position here. It will be. I'm leaving the diagram to students. Huh? You draw them specifically and work out. Okay, read the question. Intentionally not given diagram, you are supposed to assume a diagram also. It's there in Pathfinder. Such questions you must really solve, huh? Where the very basic core ideas is trying to stress here. It will pass through the first cube and it gets embedded in the second cube. You might have done. So first go for the diagram. Now initially there's a block. Two cubes will give A and B like this, the number. So let this be block A, and the bullet approaches here. The bullet, let it be C. So this is a test, and they are separated by a distance D. Now the bullet will pass through the block A according to the data given. And look at the something, neglect time of interaction of the bullet with the first cube. What I should do, the distance moved by the block A in that interval of time should be very less. So neglect time is asking. So the block A, let it be there only, and the bullet will emerge out. So it will emerge out with some speed is given 0.5. Earlier it was u. It will emerge out with a speed 0.5, and the block will have velocity va. And this at to reach there, it will be a test here. So this is t equal to, so this much is sequence. So now as the bullet starts approaching the block B, so what is about block A? Block A will have some displacement. So let's take here, and the bullet, what happen, will approach the block B. So by the time it to collide, so this will cover, let it cover a distance x1. So these are instants of time. Let me define like this. So this particular time sequence, let it be t1. After this, what will happen now? The bullet, what happen, will strike the block B, no, and it didn't say anything about that. So the bullet B, what will happen, gets embedded. Well, it gets embedded immediately. Through block A, it will pass immediately. But through the block B, what when it didn't say anything, so you can't take, it will get embedded immediately because the velocity is zero from 0.5 to become zero when it takes some time, no. So what happened to, meanwhile the block B will undergo displacement. The block B meanwhile will undergo displacement. Very good concept is being introduced here. Just make observation. Very simple idea. The block A meanwhile will cover some distance, take x2. Now look at what is the motion of the block B now. Once the bullet starts entering, the speed of the bullet will decrease, no? Why? Because of resistive force. Because of resistive force. Because of the resistive force. And because of resistive force, the speed of bullet decreases. That resistive force on the block B, how it will act? Towards right. So now if force is acting, so what is the motion of the bullet and the block when the bullet is moving inside the block? Bullet will have retarding motion, block B will have accelerated motion, not uniform velocity motion. So together they'll move and finally, so let's say that the bullet has now got finally embedded and they will cover some distance together. So what is this type of motion? This motion, what you can say? It's an accelerated motion. No? I'll call this is x naught. So what is the motion of the bullet and the block when the bullet is moving inside the block B? It's a accelerated motion. So this was the sequence that take place here. Now what will happen after this? Let's keep this. Now what happened? The block A is having a velocity. So it was having velocity BA. So now block A will, and this resultant, it will have velocity, say VB. Now the velocity of A will be greater than B. It will go and collide, and finally both will be at this particular point. just about to collide. Okay, this particular time you call T2. Now this particular time you call T3. And I'll call this distance x3. I say I just made up things like this. After reading, okay, the sequences will go on. Now write the equation, you get the required answer. So here the motion of the block and the bullet from the event in the third and fourth diagram will be accelerated. Block B will accelerate, bullet will retard. In the third and fourth diagram, the block B will accelerate and the bullet will retard. So when you are writing equations here, you have to be careful. Write down all the equations, no? So what is T1? Time taken for the bullet to move from the block A to block B. That's what the sequence. What is T2? Time taken for the bullet to penetrate into the block B and come to rest with respect to block B. That is T2. And what is T3? T3, what to define T3? Time taken by the block A to move from this position to go and collide with the block B. That is what T3, no? So these are the times are there. So these times we have to calculate unless we, and that's what he's asking. How long after the bullet emerges from the first cube will the cubes collide? So what all we should calculate now? T1, T2 and T3. T3 and T1 are very easy. Only calculation of T2 is very important. So I'll write down T1. What is T1? Description. T1 is time taken for the bullet. All these problems are not by seeing you can tell. You're supposed to analyze here. It takes usually, when you solve on your own, no, it takes 1 hour. By seeing you'll never get these such things. Time taken for bullet to move from A to B. T2 is what? Time taken for bullet to penetrate into block B and come to rest with respect to block B. Now what is T3? Time taken by block A to move from this position, not initial position. There's a position from certain position and to reach the block B. T2 will not be smaller. That's what the entire question is. You can't neglect T2, neglect time of interaction of the bullet with the first cube. He didn't say neglect time of interaction bullet with second cube. Got it? So T2 is not negligible. I'm making things clear. You do one thing, T2, you make it negligible and solve it, your answer will not match. He has not mentioned. Here is what he has mentioned. I think you should be very careful about the question given. Not second cube. Okay, so all right, conservation of momentum all. Rest all everything is writing equation. They're all the basic idea. Okay, let's write one by one all the set of equation. First, between the bullet, block C, bullet and block E. So MCU. I'll write all the equations you solve later on. MCU should be equal to MC into 0.5 U plus MA into VA. So we'll get VA. I'll leave the calculation part up because it'll take more time. So this is about the VA. Then the no, somebody said VA 4.5. Okay, good. Do calculation. I'll just describe all the basic things. Now, what about X1? Can we calculate X1? I think the bullet will take some time, no, to move a distance D. So what is the distance moved by the bullet from block A to B? So D is equal to 0.5 U into T1. So I'll get the T1. Then from that T1, I can calculate X1. What is X1? X1 equal to VA into T1. Now, conservation of momentum between the bullet and the block B. What is the equation? 0.5 U mc should be equal to 0.5 mc plus mb. This should not be there. Equal to vb. The bullet plus the block B, they will have combined velocity. I know mass of the block mc, mb, and 0.5 u. This also, I'll get the vb. vb equal to okay, I'll get the velocity vb also. Now the trouble starts. That x naught how to calculate. That x naught how to calculate. So what is everything? Now d we know. So how much of the block A will move distance to come and collide with the block B? It will cover a distance d. Look at here, d. Then it will move a distance x naught and also x3. No. So let's directly write what is our d plus x naught plus x3 by total time taken. And what is t? T1 plus T2 plus T3. T1 we know. T1 we know. Okay, T1 we got it. Then x0 we don't know. X3 we don't know. T2 and T3 we don't know. We have to search how all those things can be obtained. This is what about the problem solving.
Sir, could you once show the question, please? Thank you, sir.
What next? How to do? How to get all other unknown things? Time taken by the block A from first diagram to last diagram. What is the distance got by the block A? D plus x0 plus x3. Just make observation, nothing big. D plus x0 plus x3. Distance moved by the block A from the first diagram to the last diagram. D plus x0 plus x3. What is overall time? T1 plus T2 plus T3. I think you are getting confusion with this. I'll write it here. And what is T? T equal to T1 plus T2. That is what this is unknown thing of which you have to calculate capital T. But in between, so many unknowns are there. No, T1 we got it. What are unknown things? T2, T3, X0, X3, X2. How to bring all that? Okay, I'll write all the set of equations. I think from here, I need, yeah. Let me proceed here now. Look at the second, I'll give diagrams. 2, 3, 4, 5. From the third diagram, what is the distance? This will be d minus x1 plus x0 plus x3. So shall we write anything for T3? How much of distance the block A has moved in the interval of time T3? Va equal to d minus x1 minus x2 plus x0 plus x3 is what? T3. Will I agree? From I'm asking you to look at in the fourth and the fifth diagram. How much of distance the block will move? D minus x1 minus x2. This distance. In that interval of time, what happened to block B? How much it will move? X3, and we know VA and VB. We know VA and VB. So let's equate these two. Equating 1 and 2. We know VA, VB. We know D. So what are unknown things? And we know X1 also. So what are unknown things left over now? X2, X0, and X3. So equating 1 and 2. So you have to do that. Huh? So let me equate here. This should be equal to D minus x3 by VA is equal to x3 by VB. Call equation 3. What is VA? VA can we write only x2? What is VA? VA I can also write x2 by T2. We have defined like
Sir?
this. I think I had done everything in order, ma. Just you have to make observation. Nothing is there. Please do make observation. But nothing is there me to explain also. It says somebody were asking.
Yes, sir. How did you say VA is equal to VB, sir?
I'm not saying VA equal to VB. I didn't say.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Everything is there in order. Just make observation. Nothing is there. So like this, again, looking at the diagrams, I'm writing what is VA, VA, X2, what is the distance covered by the block A, X2 distance. So VA equal to X2 into T2, X2 by T2, VB equal to this one. All these are equations I have. Now, these equation 3 are there. What are unknown things? Unknown things are, known things are D, X1, VA, VB. X2, X0, and X3 are unknown. T2 is also unknown. Let's see that what I can do that one. Now solving this and further, what is VB? You can write it as any other equation. VB equal to one thing I wrote x3 by T3, that one. So I think still we have to write many equations, no? So I look at the accelerated motion of the block B. Can we calculate that acceleration of the block B? Accelerated motion, I'll enter into accelerated motion of block B. For block B, there is the acceleration. For what interval of time? For time T2. Then VB square equal to 2A x naught. So further, VB square is equal to 2 acceleration. I'll write it as VB T2 x naught, or this will become 2 x naught T2. Next step will be so this is what I'm going to take LPL. So on one side I have VB equal to x naught T2. So this is a very important equation. Call equation 4. Okay, now I think we can easily. And what is VA? VA I can also write x2 by T2. So shall I eliminate T2 now from these two? So this is 3, 4, equate 4 and 5. Equating 4 and 5, x2 by VA is equal to 2x naught by VB. I know VA and VB, we know, and I'll get relation between x2, x naught. So here I'll replace x naught in terms of x2. And I already know D. What are known things? Known things I'll put like this. and x1 also known, VB also. Okay, I think I'll come here. D we know, x1 we know, VA we know, VB we know. What we don't know, x2, x0, x3. I got one relation between x2 and x0. So x0 I'll replace into x2. Somehow x3 should be replaced in terms of x2. No, I'll solve it. I'll get the required answer. So what I should do to get x2 in terms of x3? Relative motion between block A and B, I'll take help of VA minus VB. Relative motion between the block A and B, I'll discuss. From where to where? From this position. From the fourth and the fifth diagram, I'll describe the relative motion between block A and B. Any equations can you write from there? We have already VB equal to x3 T3. So I'll take the fourth and the fifth diagram. I'll bring this. Oh, where it has gone. Moving, I think, a little bit problem. Shall I write directly? So this total diagram. I'll do one thing. I'll copy it. Okay, just wait. I'll get all the things. Huh? Where? I think everything gone. I'll write down the equation. Copying it is not permitting. I'll write down some set of equation between the. Able to see all of you? Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Some problem has arisen. Yeah. I'll write down the equation. So relative distance moved between the block later on you check it with the diagrams. Huh? Directly let me write equation. So this should be equal to VA minus VB equal to D minus X1 minus X2 plus X0 by T3. From where this equation? Between fourth and fifth diagram. How much of distance the block A will move to meet the block B? D minus X1 minus X2 plus X0 plus X3. No? This will be plus X0 plus X3. It should be X3. Huh? So D minus of X1 minus X2 plus X0 plus X3. This is. So we know VA, VB, D, X1 and we got X3 in terms of X0. that I'll substitute. So only thing is, and x naught in terms of x2, I got it. I'll substitute, I'll get now x3 in terms of x2. Solving this, solve for x2 now. Here you'll get x3 in terms of x2. Now bring the all that and substitute back here. x3 in terms of x2, x naught in terms of x2. We know x1. So from that, what one will get the t3. What is further x naught you can write? X naught you can write it as here only available, no? X naught you can write VB2 T2, or in terms of speed, I brought one
Sir?
equation. Wait.
Sir,
No,
x3 should not be there, right? When we are
relative distance.
subtracting,
This is d minus x1 plus x2. Yeah, x3 will not be there. Relative separation, no? Relative distance moved by that. And we know x2 in terms of x naught here. And t3, what I'll do with t3? T3 I'll replace. Yeah, thank you. So VA minus VB, D minus. Okay, it is taking a lot of time. X naught, I'll replace it as VB x2 by 2 VA. T3, I'll write this equation, x3 by VB. I'll get relation between x2 and x3 here. Okay, now solving this and substituting in the final equation, this one. I know x3 in terms of T3 also I'm replacing here, x3 by VB. Then again further from this equation, x2 and in terms of x3 will come. That I'm going to replace here. With that, we can get the required answers. You have to work out all this. I'm just leaving it here. You'll get the answer. Can you solve this all? I'll proceed to next one. Almost it took half an hour. So there's the equation 5, 6, this is 7. Answer is there in Pathfinder, you can check it. So total time will be 4 seconds. You'll get exactly that 4 seconds when you solve it. Writing equation 7 is very important part. Diagram 4 and 5. The block A will move a distance d minus x1 minus x2 plus x0 plus x3. And block B, how much will move? x3. So that x3 will get cancelled out there. And what is the time taken? That is be t3. This is very important. So solving here will get x2 and x3 relationship. Everything combine, substitute here now. x0 in terms of x2, x3 in terms of x2, then only x2 is unknown. So now we do one thing, put solve for x3 in terms of x2. And then substitute in equation 3. x0 also substitute here now. 6 and this next what equation you get? Substitute in equation 3, you'll get x2. Well, after getting x2, you can find out all the things. You'll get t2. Then if you know x2, you'll get the x3. Then you'll bring t3. Then rest everything answer will be there. Okay, now next question. Again, this is also a little bit lengthy. We'll try to finish off this. Pathfinder questions concept will be there, but you have to put effort. Will not get things easier. Read the question. In the collisions, I'm bringing some friction concept. So this directly will take this the I solved by that method. Anybody having easy method, you can proceed with that easy method also. It's not that teacher only is correct. If you have some better idea, you can solve the previous problem with still more easier method. Now look at the question. No? There's a viscous force. This will be rough. This will be rough. There's no friction between the block and the floor of the box, and there'll be a friction between the box and the ground. So small corner, we have a ear block here. It may not be visible properly. Red color I'm putting it. There's a ball, that one. Small block of rest to the left of box of equal mass. So what is the mass of the block as well as the box? Both are same, and it's saying elastic collision. If the block is given velocity 10 meter per second towards right, I'll proceed with the directly with the diagrams here. No, first what will happen? There's a floor. The box will be there only, no? It will not move. Only the block will move, and the block what happen will arrive here. It will arrive with a velocity u, and the block is still at rest. Now collision occurs. After collision, exchange of velocity occurs. Exchange of velocity occurs. Let me. So now what will happen to the box? No, box will acquire the velocity u, and the block what happen will be at rest. Can be asked in advance. I'm making things clear because we do got habituated of particle to part two balls collide. Everyone will fall because that conservation of momentum, quotient of distribution apply, you'll get the answer. These are some problems where related to some situation. And next, what will happen? The box will not be there on, so it will reach here. So now what is the just before collision open, what is the state of the box? Box will have velocity u, and the block will be at rest. Now collision occurs. Now tell me, after collision, will it have same velocity u? No, it should have some velocity, so call v1, velocity of the box. Let it be v1. It will not come with velocity. Now it will collide. Then after collision, again exchange of velocity occurs. So then here the block will come to rest. So the box will come to rest, and the block will acquire that velocity. How to calculate V1 we'll see, because the frictional force, the viscous force is varying with the speed. No, let's see that one. So this will have velocity V1, and the box will come to rest. Now the box will be there only. See this sequences, one or two diagrams when you draw, I think you'll come to know, okay, what to do. You need to get scared, and this will be at rest, and the block just about to collide, and it will have velocity, say v1. Now what will happen? Exchange of velocity occurs. So the block will give that velocity. This will be v1, and the block will be there only. I think I explained enough of this one. After this, we have to generalize it. We can't keep on diagrams. Drawing diagrams is not our problem. It's a part of a problem. Like that, sir, I'll keep on draw diagrams. We don't know how many events will occur. Maybe 200, 300. So you can't draw so many. So at least I think by this time you should generalize here. Okay, this is a sequence that occurs. So what is the state of? This will be at rest. Now, very next moment, one more last. I think this is it. The velocity will be given to the block. And the sequence will continue. I don't have patience to further draw diagram. I think this is enough for us to generate an idea what's going on. Okay, let's come to the question now. So what is the question like? Asked. How many times will the block collide with the walls of the box, and how far will the box move? Whose help you are going to take it? How far the box will move? I'm very good in little bit of the friction idea. No, here viscous drag is there. How the viscous drag will be acting on the block or on the box? Suppose this is a box. And finally it will move some distance, say x here. So here I'll start from here. It is having a velocity u. Let's not bother about that one. And finally it has come to rest. So when it is moving in between, problem you can make simple when you generalize it. So when it is moving in between, tell me what actually happens. A viscous drag will act here. And look at that viscous drag. Will be opposite to velocity. So no, is it continuously will act? No. Only when box is moving, the viscous drag will be acting here. No? So therefore directly I'll write the equation F is equal to minus kV. And what is F? The viscous drag is equal to minus m dV by ds is equal to minus kV, or dV by, so v dV by ds. It is v dV by ds. So one v will get cancelled. So on the LHS we'll have only dV. So this will be minus k by m ds. Can we calculate total distance moved by the box? This should be equal to initial velocity u, final velocity 0, it comes to rest, 0 to L, or let it be S. So this should be 0 minus u minus km S, or S equal to mu by k. This is the total distance moved by the block. After this, how to calculate number of collisions? Whose help I should take? Let's do one thing. Can we calculate V1? Can we calculate V1? L is the length of the box given. So how much of distance the box, in fact, it moves. I think the diagram is helping us a lot. No? So how to calculate V1? The same, the limits dV equal to u V1 equal to minus km. This is ds 0 to L, no? So V1 minus U equal to minus KL by M. So K we know, L we know, M we know, and U. So this is V1 equal to U minus KL by M. What about V2? V2 equal to V1 minus KL by M. So in terms of that, when you substitute here, how much you'll get? U minus 2KL by M. Shall we generalize like this? And what is V3? V3 should be equal to U minus 3KL by M. So Vn equal to, finally it'll come to rest, no? So what is Vn? Finally it should come to rest. So what is N equal to? Mu by Kl. Substitute and solve, you'll get the number of collisions. Okay, I have another problem to discuss. Just logical thinking, just from diagrams, immediately you should take help of the basic concepts, what you know. Oh, what happened? All save things. Yeah. Now come for this. Ball is projected with a speed u. Let elastic collision, let it occur. And there's a pipe where the balls, they're permitted to move inside the pipe. The next sequence. Just try to analyze. Meanwhile, I'll adjust the diagrams. So first what happened? The ball B is at rest. Tube is fixed here. It's a fixed tube. Only thing is we are making the balls to move in one specific direction. So it will come and collide here, no? Just before collision, this will have speed u. They collide here elastically. So will they exchange velocities? No, masses are not equal, no? M into M. So what do you expect after collision? This will have speed and this will have speed v1, this will have speed v2. Can we calculate that v1 v2? Yes, by applying conservation of momentum and quotient of restitution formula. Again will they collide? Again will they collide? Yes, again what happens? One more collision occurs. Like that I can keep on discuss the problem. Again, where do they collide? Somewhere, some position. Okay, that we have to calculate. This pipe is fixed here. Pipe will not move. Okay, let's calculate V1 and V2 first. How to get that V1 and V2? If you can you are able to understand question, it'll be very easier. So the same collisions in different way they'll try to ask in exams. You have to be very careful about the different types of numerical. How to calculate that? So what is the initial question? The block B is the ball B is at rest and the ball A is projected with a speed u. They'll move, they'll collide. That one, like that. After, like, what is the time taken for the second collision? This is at t equal to 0. Collision will occur at time t1. This was the time t1. Again, what happened? One more collision will occur. After what time? Again, for second collision will occur. There's a question. So first we'll calculate v1, v2. So this should be mu should be equal to minus mv1 plus 2mv2. So u minus v1 plus 2v2. Quotient of restitution formula. Applying quotient of restitution formula. Look at the second and third diagram. Yeah. Now E is equal to I'll take the V2 minus of minus V1 plus U minus 0, E equal to 1. So therefore this will be U equal to V2 plus V1. Adding up these two equations, 1 and 2, I'll get the velocity. So 1 plus 2. How much I'll get it? 2U is equal to 3V2. So V2 equal to 2U by 3. How much V1 will be then? U by 3. So after collision, this one. So definitely, who will have more speed? This will have more speed. So at what point again they'll collide? And I want that time also. They must collide somewhere, no? Because they're moving opposite to each other. Can we calculate the position and also the time taken? Let R be the radius, we'll take it. Radius of the pipe. How to decide where do again they'll collide? Go back to circular motion concept. Go back to circular. Somewhere let them collide. Let them collide at somewhere at position. I don't know. So somewhere here they're about to collide. They're about to collide. The first collision, the second collision. I want this time t2. So let them collide at an angle theta. Tell me what is the angular displacement? How much of distance it will move? Pi by 2 plus theta into r. It will cover distance. And what about the other thing? How much of distance? Pi plus, or you can select a 3 pi by 2 minus theta into r, that the distance moved by it. So we want this particular time again where it will collide here. After collision again, they'll exchange, again you have to work out the collision concept and you have to proceed here. Okay, let me proceed here. Time taken by the ball A to move from this position to point B. Time taken by the ball A. So this should be equal to how much time this should be equal to? Total distance covered by it will be pi by 2 plus theta into r. Arc length divided by V1. In the same time, this will cover 3 pi by 2 minus theta into r by V2. You know V1, V2 equate, you'll get the theta. We know V1, V2 here. Solve this, you'll get the theta. From theta, what will happen? Substitute back here and you know V1, you'll get the time. Getting now some mixed with circular motion concept. What is this? Distance covered by the ball 1 from here to here. How much of angle? Pi by 2 plus theta. Angular displacement into radius will give arc length. And angular displacement into radius will give arc length. How is this? The weight mg will be vertically down. No? Mg will be into the plane of paper. Horizontal pipe it is. The tube fixed and lies in horizontal plane. How mg will act? Into the plane of paper. Okay, solve this. Okay, one more question we have.
So one scroll up.
Fine.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now read the question. This is based on the basic collision theory. There are two events as shown in figure. In the first event, sphere 1 kg collides head-on elastically with a sphere 2 kg at t equals. In the second event, sphere 2 kg collides head-on elastically with sphere 4 kg at t equals 0. And that particular thing they're plotting. So which is event 1 and which is event 2. So again, we are going back to the basics of the collision, nothing big. So first event will take it. What actually happens in first event? So there's a 1 kg block. This is advanced question asked in advance. And this is 2 kg at rest. No? They'll collide and at maximum compression, at maximum deformation, both will have common velocity. So V1, call V1. Can we calculate that? V1. So what is the initial momentum? 4. This should be equal to 1 plus 2 into V1. So what is V1 equal to? 4 by 3 meter per second. From here to here is what? Impulse of deformation will act. No? Impulse of deformation. Can we calculate that JD, impulse of deformation? You take any one block. Let me take 1 kg ball. 1 into 4 minus JD should be equal to 1 into V1. So 4 minus JD equal to 4 by 3. So what is JD1 we'll call it because there's impulse in the first event. 4 minus 4 by 4. So 12, 8 by 3 Newton second. This is the impulse of deformation, the first event. And the area under FT graph will give that impulse. So I'm going to compare now with this method. Now let me go for the event 2. Now for the event 2, again the same method. There's a very important problem. They'll undergo deformation. Show some deformation. Again, you'll get confused, sir. What happened that energy? Show some deformation. So this is 2 kg. This is 4 kg. They will have common velocity. Let me call V2. Let me take any one. Again, this is a deformation. Then this will be 2 into 4 minus JD2 is equal to 2 into V2. First conservation of momentum. No? Apply conservation of momentum. 2 into 4 plus 4 into 2 is equal to 2 plus 4 V2. This will be 8, 16, 16 by 6, 16 by 6, 8 by 3 meter per second. Let me apply impulse of deformation. 2 into 4 minus JD2 equal to 2 into V2. 8 minus, this will be 2 into 8 by 3. Anybody value? 8 by 3 only. Now, what is the impulse? What is the basic idea of impulse? Area under FT graph should be impulse, no? So, there's an event 2. It's one of the best problem, really one of the best problem. Now, which is the graph you can pick up? Area under FT graph is what impulse? And the impulse of deformation is same for both. So, which is the possible graph I can pick up? The third one. But sir, you did only for off. I think that is enough, no? You did only for off because after the impulse of reformation we didn't do. Elastical is telling for elastic collision what is JD and JR should be equal. Is that okay? So this is the very nice concept. Please try to understand. Because for elastic collision, what should be the JD and JR? Should be equal. So look at the area. It's a symmetric graph is given also. Then both the events will have the same area FT graph, because the impulse of deformation again equal to impulse of reformation. If you calculate, you'll get same thing. JR1 equal to again JR2 will come. Therefore, this is the answer what I can pick up. So some graphical questions, you have to be very careful. Practice some numericals with all different things, like two particles, they collide, that one, some graphical problems. Then we have seen earlier some 3 pathfinder problems, block penetrating, some friction is acting, then with spring, that one, then with some string. This is what needed for us, the preparation for advanced, mains or Olympiad. Mains, they'll prefer some simple formula based. Advanced Olympiad, anything. Pathfinder questions will help you more for Olympiad than advanced. In advanced, such a lengthy calculation they don't ask. Where calculation should be minimum, they'll ask you. So you have to balance yourself. So you are preparing for advanced and mains, okay, Pathfinder, only few selected problems you do it. Your target is also Olympiad, then you must prefer the Pathfinder. The sequence, the preparation you should do in a very systematic way. Sir, I'm interested only mains advanced. Then Pathfinder only selected problems, because if you take one problem, it will take 1 hour. And if you come to the Cengage or any other book, no, Physics Galaxy, in 1 hour you can do 10 problems. Definitely the preparation will be totally different. And that will have impact on your rank also. Please be careful the way you prepare things. So have a clarity like what type of exams you are going to prepare. Since some of you or most of you are go for Olympiad also, I'm covering Pathfinder. Because in Olympiad, if you go for 4 stage, no, lab will be there. In the 3rd stage, half an hour, 1 question will be there. So they pick up numericals of similar to that of Pathfinder. So that thinking also needed. That's why I'm introducing few of Pathfinder. If your target is only advanced, then definitely you should scold me, sir, why you are bringing this lengthy problem. Okay, fine. So tomorrow paper discussion will meet. A paper discussion will meet. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, all of you. Bye. We'll see you.
Bye, sir.